There has been some massive drama for the Terra Luna Classic community over the past 24 hours. Let's dive into what's happening. Just yesterday, Ed Kim released this article explaining some future potential of what he's going to be working on and some pivot in the direction of where he wants to focus. And this thing is controversial. A lot of people are upset, so let's dive into it. Now, first, we need some background information on what is the Cosmos ecosystem and what does it try to accomplish? Well, it currently is focusing on application-specific blockchains or app chains and their integration with the Cosmos and the Tendermint ecosystem. And so the idea here is that you have a bunch of different chains that are connected through IBC or inter-blockchain connections that actually allows the transfer of assets and accounts between these different app chains that have very specific use cases. Now, this is different to what they call a FAT protocol, something like an Ethereum that allows for a lot of different things to happen that's very generic. Now, Ed Kim does talk quite a bit about his previous experience with machine learning and artificial intelligence. If you're curious about that, definitely check out this section. But something key that I want to highlight for you guys is he points out something. He says, I'm effectively a blockchain engineer on a FAT protocol / meme coin, which is something that's not necessarily bad as he highlights here. But as part of this, he's noticed his interest and excitement is waning and his intrinsic motivation is also decreasing. And for him personally, this is just not where he wants to be. And so he's decided to take actions to actually change his identity and what he's working on. And so what he wants to do is innovating on the strengths between both himself with machine learning and the Cosmos ecosystem, which is why he's excited to share the research projects he's been working on, a Cosmos proof of stake machine learning application specific chain, quite a mouthful, that decentralizes the power of AI. And so essentially he's wanting to make a side chain in the Cosmos ecosystem that is going to focus on machine learning and artificial intelligence that's going to try and leverage a couple interesting things. Now, this, of course, is causing concern in the community. However, there's a couple key things for the Terra Luna Classic community to highlight. With interchain blockchain communication, IBC, and interchain accounts, LUNC users will have access to a suite of the latest machine learning advancements. So it seems like through the IBC and through separate accounts, we should be able to actually still access the value of this, even though it's going to be a side chain. Over the next 3 to 6 months, he wants to work on releasing a public beta for this new chain. And long term, the goal is to have a blockchain that can be used to perform large-scale distribution learning across many different nodes that are utilizing the GPUs that are no longer being used for Ethereum mining. Some things that Ed is trying to work out is how can they utilize the app chain to help fund LUNC development, help reduce the supply of LUNC and UST, increase utilization of LUNC, and incentivize miners to contribute their computing power. And so Ed Kim wants to reinvent himself. He's a machine learning scientist building app chain utility for Terra Luna Classic connected via IBC. So you might be wondering, what are the next steps going to be looking like for Ed Kim and the L1 task force and the Terra Luna Classic community? Well, he highlights a couple key points. First of all, he's going to be refocusing all of his efforts to build out this new Cosmos app chain for beta release in the next 3 to 6 months. He will be likely asking the L1 team for help when needed, so it seems like he's going to be collaborating with the L team on this project. Now, point number 2 has to do with expanding potentially to add more side chains, so we're going to skip over that for now. The third point, continue funding the L1 team in Q2 to upgrade Cosmosm and IBC interchain accounts. He will volunteer to help when needed. This seems to confirm some people's suspicions that Ed Kim is no longer going to be directly part of the L1 team as a core member, but he will assess the L1 task force when needed while focusing his efforts on this new machine learning chain. It does also seem like Ed Kim is going to be stepping down from the Tier Grants Foundation and passing over operations to Marco, who's going to be releasing a report later this week to help update us with spending, their plans, and what Tier Grants Foundation is going to be doing here coming up in the next couple months. If you guys are enjoying this video and getting value out of it, please consider subscribing down below so you don't miss another video just like this. He also hopes to gain consensus from the community on legal representation as we go forward with regulations and other legal issues that we might come across. And finally, iterate and innovate to find and deploy LUNC's value proposition. You can see right now this news has not been great for Terra Luna Classic. We are down today only 0.5%, which you might think is not that bad. However, you can see the dramatic decrease in the price of Terra Luna Classic that originally occurred when Ed Kim made this announcement. When we compare that to the overall crypto market, which currently is up on the 24-hour, in some cases pretty dramatically, you can see Cardano is up quite a bit. Other cryptocurrencies are up a few percent. We are definitely falling shy of the market today off of this news. Now, as far as the rest of the L1 task force, we're a little unclear as to how the formation of the L1 task force is going to look like going forward. It does seem like Zardar is going to be actively participating in this new chain, but I'm not sure what level of involvement. Is he going to still be part of the L1 task force? Is he going to be focusing on this new chain? Is he just going to focus on the chain, or should say help on this new chain when he has some free time? We're unclear with that, but there is some wording in here that does seem to indicate he is going to be actively participating to some degree with this new chain. And he mentions right here, while allowing Ed and myself to feel satisfied with the day-to-day work when talking about this new chain. Also, in response to a question about how does this benefit LUNC specifically, he said this: with that said, all it has to do with LUNC is that we decided we want to give you all a share of the idea essentially for free. So the language here does indicate that Zardar is going to be actively part of this new chain that is being put together, or side chain that's being put together, and it does seem like there's going to be some value given to the Terra Luna Classic community, which is going to be good to see. There's been some conversation about potentially airdropping some of these new tokens to the current Terra Luna Classic stakers, and we'll have to find out more details as time goes on for that. And so to try and boil this down as simple as possible as to what we know, it seems like Ed Kim is no longer going to be part of the L1 task force. He will be volunteering and assisting and helping as needed for the L1 task force, and instead he's going to be focusing on this new machine learning Cosmos app chain that will hopefully provide utility and value for the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem, as it seems like he still does want to value and help out our ecosystem. He's not done with Terra Luna Classic. He's not leaving Terra Luna Classic. It seems like he's just shifting his focus elsewhere outside of the L1 task force. So you guys should definitely expect to see some major updates very soon. If you guys want some good news for the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem to kind of cheer you up after seeing this video, check out this video up here, and I'll catch you on the next one.